Hello, this is part 2, and today we will be talking about why your art might not be progressing or progressing as fast as you'd like or as other artists. First of all, the thing I want to say is thank you so much for the support on my last video on part 1. I didn't expect it to get so much traction, so I thank all you guys for that. And we also surpassed 100 subscribers, which is a huge milestone for me. Might seem like a small number for others, but this is really huge, and I really hope that I can inspire some of you and be able to do more art pieces for you. So this part, I'm going to color the sketch that I did before. It's gonna be pretty simple rendering techniques that I'm using. So nothing too fancy. It's not the best rendering I've done. It's like, it's all right, but yeah. So first thing is that you may be looking to other artists the wrong way, kind of more jealousy, I guess, or like, oh damn, I wish I can't do this, or I wish I could do this, or oh, they're so good, I will never be as good as them. It's like you can't really have that mindset. You should change it out the other way around. It's not about that you cannot look at others. I think you should, but not in that way. I think you should look at other artists kind of as in learning. You want to look at other artists to learn something from them, and there is always something to learn. There's like something specific about every artist, like, oh wait, they do this part like this, they sketch it like this, or they color this part like that, and well, that's interesting. And what you should do is basically take those things, like little things from different artists, and apply it to your own art and see like, oh, this is cool, I like this, and seeing what you like. And that way you also kind of help develop your own sense of style, like, okay, this works or this doesn't work, just by combining and compiling things that you personally like. Of course, it's not about copying exactly what the artist is doing. It's about taking aspects of that art piece or aspects of their process and taking that into your own work. And that's kind of how I approached my stuff when I started drawing. The thing as well is that with coloring, I've only been like really like kind of getting into that digital painting only like maybe 2 years ago. I got into digital painting because I never painted my entire life. I'm more of a sketch artist more than anything, focusing on like lines, hatching, all that stuff, because I also do traditional. But digital coloring, digital painting was like so new to me. I was like, there is no way that I can learn how to do this, because my coloring was always awful. But over time, I learned a lot of stuff from artists, and I picked them up and put them in my own work. And I feel like if you do that, you can actually get pretty far. Number 2, the second thing I want to talk about is no consistency in any way. That's something that may be hindering your artworks as well, is you are just not as consistent. And with consistency, I mean like maybe 1 or twice a week you make an art piece, like staying consistent and up to date, not exactly drawing every day. However, the funny thing is, if you were to draw every day for like an entire month, that's gonna improve your art a lot already, just because you draw every single day. So I don't know, it's like a 50-50, but you also don't want to burn yourself out. So that's why do it at your own pace, because the truth is that everyone learns at a different pace. People learn things differently based on what they like and how their brain works as well. But in the end, everyone can learn how to draw. It's just going to be a little bit of a different speed. But if you combine consistency and just learning from different artists and taking aspects, those things will already like boost you in your direction, in your arts and stuff like that. So that can definitely help. So here, actually, I was trying out a backlight on my art piece. It was like pretty interesting at first, but it doesn't really work for this art piece because like a bust. It can if it has some context to it, but here I think it looks pretty cool as well, but I ended up not going for this, so I switched it around. Anyhow, next is the lack of doing. So this is something I also talked about in my last video, which is we tend to gather more information and look hundreds of videos of how to draw this, how to do that and that, but we only do like 20% of the time. So that is kind of a issue with a lot of people, is that we also just, let's find some stuff, let's make a Pinterest board, let's find some ideas, but we don't actually execute on them, or barely. So that's why we should balance it out and actually do more of the doing and do less of the thinking and gathering. Whatever pops up, it's like, oh, this looks interesting, let's do that, let's draw it. Even if it turns out bad, that's fine. It does not matter. It doesn't have to be perfect, because this is part of your journey. This is why you learn. You make mistakes so you can learn. If you don't make mistakes, you're not learning anything. So there you go. Another point I want to go over is over rendering. So trying to define too many details for no absolute reason, sometimes details that most people don't even see and only artists can really nitpick and pick out. But honestly, like, don't need to over render. Keep it simple. If you can kind of show your artwork to someone and give away the character or the story or whatever it may be in just a single image, or like a vision of, oh, okay, this might be this type of person, or this might be this type of scene, that's already a very like a successful piece, even though it might not be rendered the best or quote unquote professionally. So that's something to keep in mind as well. Yeah, with this rendering that I'm doing right here, it's just kind of painting the shadow, or like having a shadow layer on top of my character and then painting the light on top of that, so it gives that contrast a little bit more. That's a pretty like simple technique to learn. If you guys are interested in how my drawing process really works, and if you want to know all about that and how it works, then feel free to leave a comment below and maybe I'll make a video on that. Next thing, procrastination. Yes, we're like, we're gonna do that, but eventually you actually don't do it, or you kind of do it. You're like, I'm gonna do this, but you don't. So you have to try to like keep consistent with what you're saying as well, and just draw stuff in general. Stop procrastinating, basically. That's kind of it. A final point I kind of want to go over is not understanding the fundamentals. And with the fundamentals, I mean, like, as you probably have seen everywhere, which is like perspective and lighting and color theory and their anatomy. There's a lot to learn, right? But the fundamentals are also really core to how much you can do with your art. If you lack fundamentals, your art won't stand out as much, or you will struggle more. If you know your fundamentals stronger, you can make more art, you can stay more consistent. So that's kind of the balance, and that's why you see like, oh, learn the fundamentals, know the fundamentals everywhere. So that's kind of why. But yeah, this is the final art piece. I hope you guys enjoyed part 2, and see you guys in the next art videos. Peace out.